So if Bryan Kohberger had a propensity for bloody up close murder, and that has not yet been proved, he still may have needed like a trigger, something to set him off, like maybe a personal crisis, maybe a loss, something that might have made him lash out. Maybe like losing a job, like losing his job as a teaching assistant at Washington State University. And then with that, losing your funding for the doctoral studies program you're in the school, because it appears right now that that's what happened. We now have sources with direct knowledge of the termination letter that was sent to Bryan Kohberger. And tonight I want to read the letter to you in full. The letter is dated December the 19th, 2022. Starts this way. Mr. Kohberger, I am writing this letter to formally inform you of the termination of your teaching assistantship with the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology effective December 31st, 2022. In keeping with the WSU Graduate Student Handbook, chapters 9G2, remember that, and 12E3, remember that, below is the list of events that led to you being deficient on the following contingency clause of your funding. Quote, maintaining satisfactory progress in fulfilling assistantship service requirements and duties. On September 23rd, 2022, you had an altercation with the faculty you support as a TA, Professor Snyder. I met with you on October 3rd to discuss norms of professional behavior. On October 21st, Professor Snyder emailed you about the ways in which you had failed to meet your expectations as a TA thus far in the semester. As a result, on November 2, Graduate Director Willits and I met with you to discuss an improvement plan, which you agreed to, and I shared with you in an email dated November 3rd. We met again December 7th, this time with a Professor Snyder, as well as Dr. Willits and I, to discuss your progress on the improvement plan. While not perfect, we agreed there was progress. On December 9th, there was another altercation with Professor Snyder, in which it became apparent that you had not made progress regarding professionalism, and about which I wrote to you on December 11th requesting a meeting. We met on December 19th, when I informed you of your termination as a TA for spring semester. So there's that. And we dug into the WSU Undergraduate Student Handbook, and we learned something, that those two chapters, 9G2 to start with, that is the protocol for termination mid-semester or before the end of a period stipulated in a current offer letter. And that other one, 12E3, covers graduate and professional student complaint and grievance procedures. All very interesting. Joining me now, Jennifer Coffendorfer. She's a former FBI special agent. She's been following this case since the beginning. Jennifer, I'm so fascinated by the dating on this. Now, we don't know who the author of the letter is. We heard certain names that were quoted in that letter. We don't know who wrote the letter. It just refers to as I. But the dates on it are, significant, because we knew that he had a meeting coming up on January 19th. He could have been doing that by Zoom as he was crossing the country. But it almost sounded like he didn't see this coming. He didn't see the firing coming.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, certainly by these dates, though, he knows there is something going awry with his position and would certainly be concerned if these allegations are true. And I agree with you that this would be something that could trigger. It would not answer why he did this, but it would explain why he chose the time to do this. Losing a job, potentially losing your income, the embarrassment of losing your position, maybe even having your dream of being a PhD in jeopardy. These would all be triggering factors to propel you into doing something this heinous, combined with his true reasoning from deep inside himself.
So what's extraordinary is the screenshot that you have come across from a source, a student of Bryan Kohberger's. It's a screenshot of correspondence that she had with him, and specifically a statement that he wrote to her. And here it is. I'm putting it up on the screen. This is Jennifer's reporting. She said, this student is written to. Kohberger says on December 16th, I'm glad that this course has given you a more nuanced perspective pertaining to CJ, as criminal justice. Have a great break. Again, this is December 16th. He's going to be canned 3 days later. He's in the process, of being canned. But it truly does seem that he's, carrying on the work of being a TA, even as he's left. He's already in Pennsylvania by this point. I guess he's working from home at mom and dad's house.
Yes, it would seem so. And, typically someone with a narcissistic personality doesn't really see anything wrong with what they're doing and doesn't really comprehend sometimes the negative impact of their actions and behaviors. And they carry on as normal until, as in this case, if true, he was indeed fired.
So can I ask you, and I don't know if you're able to say, because we do keep sources close to the vest, that student he was corresponding with, was it a male or a female student?
Female.
Interesting, because if we can put that back up, there's a score that's written in the top right-hand corner of the email, and I think it was like 125 out of 125. We can't see it on that version of it, but was that the accurate score? They got a perfect score, this female, because we've heard he's been grading female candidates, students a lot lower.
That's certainly what this intimated. I cut it down just to keep her identity not revealed.
Sure.
But that's what it looked like, 125 out of 125.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to mention, Jennifer, is that Melissa Luck, who's a journalist at KXLY in Spokane, she received a response from WSU about this termination letter and all the reporting that we've been doing. And WSU cited a whole bunch of federal law saying they can't, release a lot of employment records, but they did say this. This is what the statement that she got was. In part, Mr. Kohberger does not currently have a teaching assistantship, and he is not currently enrolled in WSU. What do you make of that?
Well, it was certainly ambiguous. They did not want to say anything that would have been against the policies and procedures of release of information. But I did find this interesting. Recall when the search warrant was returned on his office. I thought it very surprising that not one thing was gleaned from that office. Not a computer, not any paperwork, not any doodling, nothing from that office. And this possibly could explain why.
It's fascinating. I just want to add one piece of new reporting tonight as well, Jennifer. You may already know of this, but it just sort of crossed the wires late, that Pennsylvania police in two different areas, the Northampton County District and Lehigh County, are now looking into their cold cases. Because don't forget, he's from Pennsylvania. He went across the country to Idaho to go to school, or to Washington to go to school. And they're saying they're looking through all their cold cases now for possible links to Kohberger. I suppose that's not a surprise given what they're now learning, in the allegations against him. Jennifer, excellent reporting as usual. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.